Must be Monday, everyone. Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for August the 9th, 2021. The anniversary, I always think of August 9th as the date that Chris Jericho made his WWE debut back in 1999. But that was then, this is now. Let's get started with this Raw recap. We kicked off with the return of the Viper Randy Orton, or as Jimmy Smith said, Randy the Viper Orton. He did the opening, welcome to Monday Night Raw. I guess that's in the script. Every wrestler or personality has to say it at the beginning of the show. Riddle quickly arrived. He said he missed Randy Orton so much, bro. He wanted to know, where did Randy go? And Randy was not too thrilled about Riddle being there. Basically, Orton said that they work better separate. Orton was watching over the past 7 weeks, and Riddle has done fine going solo. Orton said that they were a good tag team. They did get a buzz on social media. The crowd started chanting RK Bro, and Kurapika07, he pointed out that Orton once again has the mustache. AJ Styles and Omos arrived, and AJ said that this whole thing is embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, the crowd started chanting what? And Orton said that the only thing bigger than AJ's ego is that jackass Omos. AJ responded by challenging Orton to a match in the main event. Orton accepted and said that AJ will fall victim to the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. But then you had Orton with a cheap shot to Styles. Orton faced off with Omos, attempted an RKO but was unsuccessful. And then Riddle got in the ring, tried to hit Omos with an RKO as well. He was unsuccessful, and he got a choke slam for his troubles. Pretty nice opening segment here. I liked it, setting up the main event, getting Orton back into the mix. Good stuff. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, RK Bro has Team Hell No vibes. Indeed they do. Good comparison there, Walter. We had Baron Corbin appear for a backstage interview. And no, this is not SmackDown. Remember, we still have the brand-to-brand invitational. So Corbin is on Raw at the request of Jinder Mahal. Apparently, Mahal offered Corbin money to take out Drew McIntyre. And Corbin is a very desperate man. He got his music playing for maybe about 10 seconds before it was cut off. Mr. Anderson with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Says, poor Corbin, he needs money from you, Aaron. I think he could use money from just about anybody, but I'm not sure I could give him the type of money that he needs. And we'll get to that in a few minutes here. We had Drew McIntyre interviewed backstage, and he said that his sword is named after his mom, Angela. She never complained despite everything she's been through or she went through. She passed away, and he has named the sword in her honor. We had this match. Corbin attempted to take a cheap shot. You had Mahal and his crew watching backstage. Corbin got the upper hand for a little bit. He had a big superplex off the top, but then McIntyre made his comeback. Corbin started begging. McIntyre got on the mic, and he was starting to feel sorry for Corbin. He asked Corbin how much money Corbin needs. Corbin said $100,000. McIntyre said, well, what about 200,000? What about 300,000? And that led to his 3, 2, 1 countdown. Hit the Claymore, picked up the win over Corbin. And then Jinder Mahal's crew arrived, but McIntyre had Angela, the sword, and Mahal, his guys, quickly retreated. Fun little match here. Happy to see Corbin on Raw. Corbin is an entertaining gimmick in WWE right now, so I have no issues with the brand-to-brand invitational as far as Corbin being on Raw goes. They've turned the corner with Corbin, because I would, in another period, 2019 or whatever, I would dread Corbin being on both shows. But the Corbin stuff right now is so entertaining that I'm all for Corbin being on Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Matt Helms with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. He had no comment, though, but I do appreciate the super chat. Caleb Jacobs with a $2.30 super chat. He says, foreshadowing, new Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro. But are they together? Because in this next segment, we had Riddle backstage with Orton asking if they could still be friends. And Riddle asked if he could be in Orton's corner for the main event. But Orton basically said no. And he is serious. And he also told Riddle to not call him bro. I wonder if that was influenced by that time that Goldberg said that he's not Riddle's bro. We had the return of Jeff Hardy, who tested positive for COVID several weeks ago. He was back against Karrion Kross. We got this rematch that we were spared for the past 2 weeks due to Jeff having COVID. Karrion Kross, still no pomp and circumstance, the stripped down entrance. He said that this time he would make Jeff Hardy fall and prey. Of course, 3 weeks ago he lost to Hardy. Kross dominated most of the match. Crowd chanted Hardy. Hardy was able to get back into it. Match went back and forth for a while. Hardy attempted to use the trunks again, just like he did when he beat Kross. However, Kross was able to kick out of it. Kross got into Kross mode. He hit the Saito suplex, put on the cross jacket submission, and Jeff Hardy tapped out. Karrion Kross gets his win back, so no 2 direct losses in a row to Jeff Hardy. After the match was over, Kross attacked Hardy again, put the submission on a second time. Does this make up for that first loss? What do you guys think in the chat room? Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Says, Corbin needs a 1-2-3 kid with money on a pole. If you know, you know. And Matt Helms says, why do we need to see this rematch? Well, I guess so Kross could get his win back. Crowd did not care very much about Kross, which shouldn't really surprise you at this point, but I guess they're trying. They're trying to do something with Kross. How about bring back Scarlett and let him have his full-fledged entrance again? That would be a nice starting point. And just have Kross win some squash matches. And hopefully people can forget about that first week, actually 2 weeks of him losing. We had another video package. Actually, this was the first video package with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Nice little video package here. Maybe this was what Caleb Jacobs was talking about earlier with them winning the tag team titles. They had this nice little video package for these guys. Riddle was interviewed saying that he is going to respect Randy's wishes And he's a stallion, and he's going to go ride like a stallion does. And he took off on his scooter. You had Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop. And you had Lily out there with Alexa. She put Lily up by the ring post, and then Eva Marie sat on the other corner on the top rope. And at this point, the crowd started a "We Want Wyatt" chant. You guys know this is going to happen. I feel bad for Alexa that they're going to do this during her segments, but yeah, the crowd wants Bray Wyatt, and I don't know if they're ever going to get Bray Wyatt again. They might get Wyndham Rotunda in AEW, but Bray Wyatt, unless WWE decides to bring him back, we've probably seen the last of him. We'll see how long these chants keep going, if they continue or if they fizzle out over time. Just like we thought the what chants would eventually fizzle out over time. So let's talk about this. This match got a lot of comments from people. Alexa went to the outside of the ring and she got in Eva's face. Doudrop attacked Alexa from behind. But then Doudrop started trash talking in the corner towards Lily, and Lily winked at Doudrop. Yes, there was a wink. They did a little special effect with Lily winking, and Alexa picked up the victory over Doudrop with a roll-up. Kurapika07 says it was a dumb match. Anthony is like, we want Wyatt, we want Wyatt. Darren says, how long before Doudrop turns on Eva Marie? Could literally be any week now. I mean, whenever WWE gives up on this Eva Marie push, I could see Doudrop turning against her. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, which is worse, the Rey Mysterio eyeball or the Lily wink? I actually liked the Mysterio eyeball segment, but it was over the top. This is over the top. I'm gonna say I think the Lily wink is dumb, but maybe not worse. The eyeball thing was bad, but bad in an entertaining way. So it just depends on what your criteria is. Rey Mysterio's eyeball brought me more entertainment, so I'll say that the Lily wink is worse, but not necessarily worse. They're both bad in their own ways, I guess. Colin Andrews says Eva makes me change the channel. We had Sheamus backstage with John Morrison and The Miz. Sheamus was vowing to crush that rat Ricochet and said Morrison better get the job done against Damian Priest. We had a match between Sheamus and Ricochet. Pretty good match here between these guys. Ricochet did a big crossbody coming off the top rope to the outside, sending Sheamus over the announce table. Sheamus got control for a while after the commercial break. Ricochet made a comeback, but then he came off the top, and I'm not sure what he was going for, but basically his head collided with Sheamus's mask, and Sheamus picked up the win with the bro kick after that. I like the finish in a way. I think it somewhat made Ricochet come off like an idiot, jumping off the top right into the mask, but you know, the mask is an advantage that Sheamus has as a heel. So I like the idea. I'm not sure the execution was perfect, but I did like the idea of the mask being the factor in Sheamus winning. I mean, it's better than a lot of the distraction finishes that we've been getting on Raw. So at least it was something different. Afterwards, Damian Priest appeared, got in Sheamus's face, and Sheamus tried to attack Priest, but Priest dumped him over the top, and then John Morrison arrived for the match with Priest. Biblical Adrian says, why is Sheamus still wearing the mask? Well, it could be like when Cowboy Bob Orton kept the kept the cast on his arm for like 6 months after his injury. Like, he just used it to cheat. Could be the same thing with Sheamus, where he's wearing the mask. He's not really hurt anymore, but he's wearing the mask as a way to cheat, like as we saw in this match. We had Morrison versus Priest, and there was a little cool spot in the match where they both kicked each other at the same time. But then you had all the stuff with The Miz, and he started spraying Priest when Priest was going to hit the Reckoning. Priest just ignored it, hit the Reckoning anyways, and pinned John Morrison, which I liked. This was actually smart babyface, where instead of maybe going to the outside of the ring or trying to grab Miz from inside the ring, Priest just blew him off and finished off Morrison and won the match. Smart babyface. So, in a way, I almost want to give Raw a letter grade up for this. After the match was over, that's when Priest grabbed the drip sticks, sprayed Morrison, and then Miz stood up out of his wheelchair. He's been healed. It's a miracle. They used the Bobby Heenan line. Corey Graves did. I think WWE on Fox's Twitter account used it too. Miz stood up, slapped Priest, and then ran away like a coward. And then Priest got on the mic, but before he could really say much of anything, Sheamus interrupted. Priest called Sheamus a bully and then challenged Sheamus for a U.S. title match at SummerSlam. Sheamus said he doesn't care about what Priest thinks, doesn't care what the fans think, but he will give Priest the match at SummerSlam. Priest then hit Morrison with a bro kick for good measure and said that at SummerSlam, that is going to be Sheamus. Good promo here, good segment. I liked it to set up the SummerSlam match. Well done by these guys. Although the drip stick still really isn't catching on. There was pretty much no reaction when Morrison got sprayed with the drip stick. I mean, he's being sprayed with water. You can't really expect much of a pop for that. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, better mask gimmick, Cody Rhodes versus Sheamus. Well, time will tell. Maybe Sheamus can make this mask gimmick work for him long term. Cody had a nice little gimmick where he thought he was disfigured when he really wasn't. Maybe Sheamus will use it kind of like the Bob Orton cast. We have to wait and see. There's still time to see what Sheamus does with this mask gimmick. He might milk it for a long time, and it could go down as one of the better mask gimmicks in WWE as far as using it as an advantage in a storyline. We had Mansoor backstage with Ali, and he was apologizing to Ali for what happened last week when they lost the tag team match. He got them some new ring jackets. And then we had Ali versus T-Bar. Still using my middle name. I'm still not thrilled about that, but I'm living with it. And you had T-Bar pretty much dominating the match, but then Mansoor pointed out that Ali got his foot on the rope, so Mansoor was helping out. Mace attacked Mansoor, and then T-Bar was able to finish off Ali with a knee to the jaw. Afterwards, Mace and T-Bar were going to hit High Justice, but Mansoor made the save, knocked both guys out of the ring. This was fine. No real complaints about this. At least they're advancing a storyline with these guys, and T-Bar did pick up the win. I still wish they would drop the names and the face paint, go back to being Dominic Dijakovic, and just change things up. Dio Madden, go back to their own names, but don't know if they're going to do it or not. But hey, at least we got a little bit of an advancement of the storyline with Mansoor and Ali. We had a little graphic showing that Reggie has 33 million views on TikTok. Well, I mean, Caitlin has shown me some TikTok videos, and people will pretty much like anything on TikTok. So Not sure that's saying much. Maybe I should get a TikTok. Although me, of course, I'd only get like 500 people watching it. We had Tozawa and R-Truth attempting to beat up Reggie and win the 24/7 title, but Reggie did all of his flips, climbed up some things backstage and flipped off of them and managed to escape the building. Truth and Tozawa just argued with each other, taking the blame or pointing the blame at the other guy. We then had AJ Styles interviewed about his main event match with Randy Orton. He said that he doesn't care that Orton is back, and Orton is making a colossal mistake getting in the ring with him. We had a promo from Bobby Lashley and MVP. And no, Darren, I'm not making a TikTok account. TikTok is not going to happen. We had a Lashley and MVP promo. Not really a whole lot. Delivery was good, but basically MVP said that Goldberg was trying to save face last week by spearing him. MVP said he has 4 bruised ribs and 2 cracked ribs, and said he would never threaten a kid. All he was trying to do was warn Goldberg's son Gage that Lashley is going to end Goldberg's career, and tried to get Gage to talk Goldberg out of it. And Lashley talked a little bit, warned Gage to not watch SummerSlam, said at SummerSlam, Goldberg isn't next, he is done. So again, decent promo, but I mean, it was kind of filler. Next week, Goldberg shows up to talk again, probably going to say Lashley's next, blah, blah, blah. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, Dripstick is 2021 watered down version of arrogance. Yeah, like if it was something that would blind you, or, you know, Mace or something, not Mace the wrestler, but some kind of substance where you knew it hurt, and then Priest sprayed Morrison in the face with it, like I could see the crowd popping at that. But when it's just water, like how do you pop for that? He's just spraying you with water. I mean, come on now. We had Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Cross, and they both cut their pre-match promos. Rhea said that Nikki's going to be almost good, but that's not going to be good enough, blah, blah, blah. Nikki Cross cut her usual promo. Her dream might turn into a nightmare, but she has her trusty nightlight, her spirit and drive. This is rough. Anyways, we had this match. Nikki's almost positive she will beat Rhea. I am so done with this gimmick. Rhea dominated most of the match. Nikki's ribs were taped up. Nikki made a comeback. And then, just as Nikki was perhaps going to win, Charlotte ran in, attacked both of them, held up the championship, blah, blah, blah. Boring segment, in my opinion. I have little to no interest in this match. No "We Want Becky" chants, at least I did not hear any on TV, but I'm just waiting for her to come back. I really do not care about this storyline. The superhero gimmick is not cutting it for me. I miss the old Sanity Nikki. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, will Nikki turn heel when she loses the title? I hope so, but I don't know where they're going with this. I really don't. Like, I think they really think that this has potential to sell with kids and they can make money off of t-shirts and action figures, but man, I'm just dreading it. It's like, maybe it should become Kurt Angle, where if you remember, Kurt Angle thought he was a good guy and a superhero, an American hero, and that actually became his heel gimmick. Like, I wonder if Nikki will become so obnoxious with this that people will boo her and she'll actually become a heel with this character. That might be interesting. So we'll see what happens with it. But right now, I want it to go in a different direction. Mike D says, where has Asuka been? Lost in the shuffle. You know, they can only push 3 women at a time, apparently. Like, other than these three women, I guess he got the Alexa storyline, Eva Marie and Dewdrop, but yeah, I guess there's no room for Asuka right now. She's not on the pay-per-view, so they have no intentions on pushing her. We had a little vignette of Elias, which is interesting. He threw his guitar into a fire and then said that WWE stood for Walk with Elias, but Elias is dead. Interesting. They're changing something up with Elias. What are they going to do with him? Don't know, but this could be maybe the beginning of a new era, or this could be the beginning of the end for Elias. You know, the music gimmick has worked well for him, but one could also argue after 5 years, maybe it's time to change things up with him. So I'm curious to see where this goes. And where's Jackson Riker, by the way? He beat Elias, and now we haven't seen him in the past several weeks. Leatherface says, guess you can't have two guitar players. Yeah, looks like Rick Boogs has won the guitar gimmick. We had our main event of the evening, AJ Styles versus Omos. And there was a stare down at the beginning with Omos looking at Orton. Orton got distracted. Styles came over the top rope with the forearm to Styles, or Orton, excuse me. And then back in the ring, they went back and forth for a while. AJ got the calf crusher on, but Orton got to the rope. Orton made a comeback, hit the draping DDT. He was going to go for the RKO, but then Omos pulled Styles to the outside, or to the corner at least. And then Omos took off his jacket like he was going to fight Orton. Styles then took a cheap shot at Orton. Matt Riddle showed up. He shoved Omos into the post. He went for a sleeper, but Omos backed him into the ring post. However, all that stuff going on the outside was just enough time for Orton to recover. Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, but got caught with an RKO. Nice pop from the crowd for that. And then Orton picked up the win over Styles. After the match was over, Riddle got in the ring. He wanted a hug. And Orton hesitated for a while, but then finally gave him the reluctant hug. Riddle raised Orton's hand. You knew where this was going. I was kind of hoping we'd get the surprise Matt Riddle heel turn, but not yet. Orton hit Riddle with the RKO, but kind of was like laughing afterwards as if he's in the fold. They're a tag team again, but he had to put Riddle in his place at the end. The announcers acted like Orton and Riddle are back together despite the RKO. So that was the end of Raw, and I'm guessing we get the tag team title match at SummerSlam. I was still hoping like Riddle would be the one to attack Orton at the end. Maybe, though, we'll get that sometime down the line. Raw was not a bad show this week. I thought it was better, maybe the best one since fans have returned. Crowd was decent. Not a great crowd, but not a terrible one either. They did do some what chants, and they were dead for some stuff. But the show was all right overall. I'd probably go with a C+, maybe a B-, but I'm thinking more C+, because the show still didn't really do much to get me hyped for SummerSlam. Best thing as far as build-up went for me was the Damian Priest and Sheamus stuff, and I liked the Randy Orton stuff with Riddle, so all in all, it wasn't too bad. Mr. Anderson with a $2 super chat says, was a D show for me, loved Randy RKOing Riddle. And Hamp Connell with a $5 super chat says, I'm back to another COVID job in Louisiana for 30 days, so it may be a few weeks before I get to watch you again. Well, best wishes to you, Hamp. I appreciate you tuning in, and good luck with that. CC Drink, the game is on 100. Give it a C+. Matt Helms with a B-. Carla with a B-. Caleb Jacobs with a B+. Leatherface with a C+. Darren says B-, not a bad show. And Kevin Luke gives it a D. Mr. Heavy Metal Hero Dude gives it a B as well. Carla says, should RK Bro team up and challenge AJ for the tag team titles? Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the SummerSlam match. I don't think they're actually doing the split just yet. But like I said, at some point, I hope Riddle's the one that turns against Orton. They could theoretically drag this out for a while and not do the turn. I feel like they'll win the tag team titles, maybe have a run for several months. Maybe for WrestleMania, we get Matt Riddle versus Orton one-on-one. But I'd like to see Riddle as the one that goes heel and becomes the new legend killer and turn him into a more vicious character. I'd like to see that, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned to the No DQ YouTube channel. Got the AEW Dynamite recap coming up. And Friday night, I will be recapping both SmackDown and Rampage. AEW Rampage debuts on Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern. I'll be back again. I'm doing these late night streams. I'll be recapping both shows at 11 o'clock Eastern. TJS with a $3 super chat says, Riddle to AEW confirmed. Randy the contract killer. That, I don't think so. I don't think Riddle's going to AEW. As Virtue would say, Riddle is Vince McMahon's new boy toy, and I don't think anything's going to change with that for a while. But if there's an older guy that crosses paths with Randy Orton, then that could be a sign. Anyways, guys, take care. Have a great week, and I will see you all next time. Wait, I almost clicked off. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, honestly, you look better with a shaved head. Well, I appreciate that. Might let it grow out a bit, though. As the weather gets colder, we'll see. All right, guys, take care. See you next time.